This week's Torah portion is entitled Bo, translates to come in. Torah is taken from Exodus chapter 10 verse 1 through chapter 13 verse 16. Tanakh is taken from Jeremiah chapter 46 verses 13 through 28. And the apostolic portion is taken from the book of John chapter 19 verses 31 through 37. Exodus 10. And Yehovah said to Moshe, Go in to Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the hearts of his servants, so that I show these signs of mine before him, and that you relate in the hearing of your son and your son's son what I have done in Mitzrayim, and my signs which I have done among them. And you shall know that I am Yehovah. And Moshe and Aharon came into Pharaoh and said to him, Thus said Yehovah Elohim of the Hebrews, Till when shall you refuse to humble yourself before me? Let my people go, so that they serve me. Or else, if you refuse to let my people go, see, tomorrow I am bringing locusts within your borders, and they shall cover the surface of your land, so that no one is able to see the land. And they shall eat the rest of what has escaped, which remains to you from the hail, and they shall eat every tree which grows up for you out of the field. And they shall fill your houses, and the houses of all your servants, and the houses of all the Mitzrites, which neither your fathers nor your fathers' fathers have seen, since the day that they were on the earth to this day. Then he turned and went out from Pharaoh. And Pharaoh's servants said to him, Till when would this one be a snare to us? Let the men go, so that they serve Yehovah their Elohim. Do you not yet know that Mitzrayim is destroyed? And Moshe and Aharon were brought back to Pharaoh, and he said to them, Go, serve Yehovah your Elohim. Who are the ones that are going? And Moshe said, We are going with our young and our old, with our sons and our daughters, with our flocks and our herds we are going, for we have a festival to Yehovah. And he said to them, Let Yehovah be with you, as I let you and your little ones go. Watch, for evil is before your face. Not so. You men go now and serve Yehovah, for that is what you desired. And they were driven out from the presence of Pharaoh. And Yehovah said to Moshe, Stretch out your hand over the land of Mitzrayim, for the locusts to come upon the land of Mitzrayim, and eat every plant of the land, all that the hail has left. And Moshe stretched out his rod over the land of Mitzrayim, and Yehovah brought an east wind on the land all that day and all that night. Morning came, and the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts went up over all the land of Mitzrayim, and settled within all the borders of Mitzrayim, very grievous. There had never been locusts like them before, nor would there be again like them. And they covered the surface of all the land, so that the land was darkened. And they ate every plant of the land, and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. And no greenness was left on the trees or on the plants of the field, in all the land of Mitzrayim. Pharaoh then called for Moshe and Aharon in haste, and said, I have sinned against Yehovah your Elohim, and against you. And now, please, forgive my sin only this once, and pray to Yehovah your Elohim, that he would only turn away this death from me. And he went out from Pharaoh and prayed to Yehovah. And Yehovah turned a very strong west wind, which took the locusts away and blew them into the sea of reeds, not one locust was left within all the border of Mitzrayim. However, Jehovah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not let the children of Israel go. And Jehovah said to Moshe, Stretch out your hand toward the heavens, and let there be darkness over the land of Mitzrayim, even a darkness which is felt. And Moshe stretched out his hand toward the heavens, and there was thick darkness in all the land of Mitzrayim for 3 days. They did not see one another, nor did anyone rise from his place for 3 days, while all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. And Pharaoh called to Moshe and said, Go, serve Jehovah, only leave your flocks and your herds behind. Let your little ones go with you too. But Moshe said, You yourself are to provide us with slaughterings and burnt offerings, to prepare for Jehovah our Elohim. And our livestock are to go with us too. Not a hoof is to be left behind, for we have to take some of them to serve Jehovah our Elohim, and we ourselves do not know with what we are to serve Jehovah until we come there. However, Jehovah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he would not let them go. And Pharaoh said to him, Get away from me, watch yourself, and see my face no more. For in the day you see my face, you die. And Moshe said, You have spoken rightly. Never again do I see your face. Exodus 11. And Jehovah said to Moshe, I am bringing yet one more plague on Pharaoh and on Mitzrayim. After that, he is going to let you go from here. When he lets you go, he shall drive you out from here altogether. Speak now in the hearing of the people, and let every man ask from his neighbor, and every woman from her neighbor, objects of silver and objects of gold. And Jehovah gave the people favor in the eyes of the Mitzrites. And the man Moshe was very great in the land of Mitzrayim, in the eyes of Pharaoh's servants, and in the eyes of the people. And Moshe said, Thus said Jehovah, About midnight I am going out into the midst of Mitzrayim, and all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on his throne, even to the firstborn of the female servant who is behind the handmill, and all the firstborn of cattle. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Mitzrayim, such as has never been or ever be again. But against any of the children of Israel, no dog shall move its tongue against man or against beast, so that you know that Jehovah makes distinction between Mitzrayim and Israel. And all these servants of yours shall come down to me, and bow down to me, saying, Get out, you and all the people at your feet. And after that I shall go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in great displeasure. But Jehovah said to Moshe, Pharaoh is not going to listen to you in order to multiply my wonders in the land of Mitzrayim. And Moshe and Aharon did all these wonders before Pharaoh. However, Jehovah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not let the children of Israel go out of his land. Exodus 12. And Jehovah spoke to Moshe and to Aharon in the land of Mitzrayim, saying, This month is the beginning of months for you. It is the first month of the year for you. Speak to all the congregation of Israel, saying, On the 10th day of this month each one of them is to take for himself a lamb, according to the house of his father, a lamb for the household. And if the household is too small for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next to his house take it according to the number of the beings. According to each man's need, you make your count for the lamb. Let the lamb be a perfect one, a year-old male. Take it from the sheep or from the goats. And you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. Then all the assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it between the evenings. And they shall take some of the blood and put it on the 2 doorposts and on the lintel of the houses where they eat it. And they shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted in fire. With unleavened bread and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Do not eat it raw, nor boiled at all with water, but roasted in fire, its head with its legs and its inward parts. And do not leave of it until morning. And what remains of it until morning you are to burn with fire. And this is how you eat it: your loins girded, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And you shall eat it in haste. It is the Passover of Yahovah. And I shall pass through the land of Mitzrayim on that night, and shall smite all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both man and beast. And on all the mighty ones of Mitzrayim I shall execute judgment. I am Yahovah. And the blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I shall pass over you, and let the plague not come on you to destroy you when I smite the land of Mitzrayim. And this day shall become to you a remembrance, and you shall observe it as a festival to Yahovah throughout your generations. Observe it as a festival, an everlasting law. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Indeed, on the first day you cause leaven to cease from your houses. For whoever eats unleavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that being shall be cut off from Israel. And on the first day it is a set-apart gathering, and on the 7th day you have a set-apart gathering. No work at all is done on them, only that which is eaten by every being, that alone is prepared by you. And you shall guard the festival of unleavened bread. For on this same day I brought your divisions out of the land of Mitzrayim. And you shall guard this day throughout your generations, an everlasting law. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, in the evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month in the evening. For 7 days no leaven is to be found in your houses. For if anyone eats what is leavened, that same being shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether sojourner or native in the land. Do not eat that which is leavened. In all your dwellings you are to eat unleavened bread. And Moshe called for all the elders of Israel and said to them, Go out and take lambs for yourselves according to your clans, and slaughter the Passover lamb. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop, and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 doorposts with the blood that is in the basin. And you, none of you, shall go out of the door of his house until morning. And Yahovah shall pass on to smite the Mitzrites, and shall see the blood on the lintel and on the 2 doorposts. And Yahovah shall pass over the door, and not allow the destroyer to come into your houses to smite you. And you shall guard this word as a law for you and your sons forever. And it shall be, when you come to the land which Yahovah gives you, as he promised, that you shall guard this service. And it shall be, when your children say to you, what does this service mean to you? Then you shall say, it is the Passover slaughtering of Yahovah, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Mitzrayim, when he smote the Mitzrites and delivered our households. And the people bowed their heads and did obeisance. And the children of Israel went away and did so, as Yahovah had commanded Moshe and Aharon, so they did. And it came to be at midnight that Yahovah smote all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sat on his throne, to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of livestock. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Mitzrites. And there was a great cry in Mitzrayim, for there was not a house where there was not a dead one. Then he called for Moshe and Aharon by night and said, arise, go out from the midst of my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go, serve Yahovah as you have said. Take both your flocks and your herds as you have said, and go. Then you shall bless me too. And the Mitzrites urged the people to hasten to send them away out of the land, for they said, we are all dying. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, having their kneading boards bound up in their garments on their shoulders. And the children of Israel had done according to the word of Moshe. And they had asked for the Mitzrites objects of silver and objects of gold and garments. And Yahovah gave the people favor in the eyes of the Mitzrites, so that they gave them what they asked, and they plundered the Mitzrites. And the children of Israel set out from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot, besides the little one. And a mixed multitude went up with them too, also flocks and herds, very much livestock. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough, which they had brought out of Mitzrayim, for it was not leavened, since they were driven out of Mitzrayim, and had not been able to delay, nor had they prepared food for themselves. And the sojourn of the children of Israel, who lived in Mitzrayim, was 430 years. And it came to be at the end of the 430 years, on that same day it came to be, that all the divisions of Yahovah went out from the land of Mitzrayim. It is a night to be observed unto Yahovah, for bringing them out of the land of Mitzrayim. This night is unto Yahovah to be observed by all the children of Israel throughout their generations. And Yahovah said to Moshe and Aharon, this is the law of the Passover. No son of a stranger is to eat of it. But any servant a man has bought for silver, when you have circumcised him, then let him eat of it. A sojourner and a hired servant does not eat of it. It is eaten in one house. You are not to take any of the flesh outside the house, nor are you to break any bone of it. All the congregation of Israel are to perform it. And when a stranger sojourns with you, and shall perform the Passover to Yahovah, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and perform it. And he shall be as a native of the land, but let no uncircumcised eat of it. There is one Torah for the native born, and for the stranger who sojourns among you. And all the children of Israel did as Yahovah commanded Moshe and Aharon. So they did. And it came to be on that same day that Yahovah brought the children of Israel out of the land of Mitzrayim, according to their divisions. Exodus 13 1 through 16. And Yahovah spoke to Moshe, saying, Set apart to me all the firstborn, the one opening the womb among the children of Israel, among man and among beast. It is mine. And Moshe said to the people, Remember this day in which you went out of Mitzrayim, out of the house of slavery. For by strength of hand Yahovah brought you out of this place, and whatever is leavened shall not be eaten. Today you are going out in the month Abib. And it shall be, when Yahovah brings you into the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that you shall keep this service in this month. 7 days you eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day is a festival to Yahovah. Unleavened bread is to be eaten the 7 days, and whatever is leavened is not to be seen with you, and leaven is not to be seen with you within all your border. And you shall inform your son in that day, saying, It is because of what Yahovah did for me when I came up from Mitzrayim. And it shall be as a sign for you on your hand, and as a reminder between your eyes, that the Torah of Yahovah is to be in your mouth. For with a strong hand Yahovah has brought you out of Mitzrayim. And you shall guard this law at its appointed time from year to year. And it shall be, when Yahovah brings you into the land of the Canaanites, as he swore to you and your fathers, and gives it to you, that you shall pass over to Yahovah everyone opening the womb, and every firstborn that comes from your livestock, the males belonging to Yahovah. But every firstborn of a donkey you are to ransom with a lamb, and if you do not ransom it, then you shall break its neck. And every firstborn of man among your sons you are to ransom. And it shall be, when your son asks you in time to come, saying, What is this? Then you shall say to him, By strength of hand Yahovah brought us out of Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage. And it came to be, when Pharaoh was too hardened to let us go, that Yahovah killed every firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I am slaughtering to Yahovah every male that opened the womb, but every firstborn of my sons I ransom. And it shall be as a sign on your hand, and as frontlets between your eyes. For by strength of hand Yahovah brought us out of Mitzrayim. Jeremiah 46:13 through 28. The word which Yahovah spoke to Yirmiyahu the prophet about the coming of Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, to smite the land of Mitzrayim. Declare in Mitzrayim, and let it be heard in Migdol, and let it be heard in Noph and Tahpanhes, say, Stand fast and be prepared, for a sword shall devour all around you. Why were your strong ones swept away? They did not stand, because Yahovah drove them away. He made many stumble. Indeed, they fell over each other, and said, Arise, let us go back to our own people, and to the land of our birth, away from the oppressing sword. There they cried, Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, is but a noise. He has let the appointed time pass by. As I live, declares the sovereign, whose name is Yahovah of hosts, for as Tabor is among the mountains, and Carmel by the sea, he shall come. O you, daughter dwelling in Mitzrayim, prepare yourself to go into exile, for Noph shall become a waste and a ruin, and be burned, without inhabitant. Mitzrayim is like a very pretty heifer, but destruction comes. It comes from the north. Her hired ones too in her midst are like fattened calves, for they too shall turn. They shall flee away together. They shall not stand, for the day of their calamity has come upon them, the time of their punishment. Its sound moves along like a serpent, for they move on like an army, and come against her with axes like woodcutters. They shall cut down her forest, declares Jehovah, for it is not searched, because they are more numerous than locusts and without number. The daughter of Mitzrayim shall be put to shame. She shall be given into the hand of the people of the north. Jehovah of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, has said, See, I am bringing punishment on Ammon of No, and on Pharaoh, and on Mitzrayim, and on their mighty ones, and on their sovereigns, and on Pharaoh, and on those trusting in him. And I shall give them into the hand of those who seek their lives, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, and into the hand of his servants. And afterward it shall be inhabited, as in the days of old, declares Jehovah. But as for you, do not fear, O my servant Jacob, and do not be discouraged, O Israel. For look, I am saving you from afar, and your descendants from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall have rest, and be at ease, with no one disturbing. Do not fear, O Jacob, my servant, declares Jehovah, for I am with you. Though I make a complete end of all the Gentiles to which I have driven you, yet I do not make a complete end of you. But I shall reprove you in right ruling, and by no means leave you unpunished. John 19:31 through 37. Therefore, since it was the preparation day, that the body should not remain on the stake on the Sabbath, for that Sabbath was a high one, the Yehudim asked Pilate to have their legs broken, and that they be taken away. Therefore the soldiers came and broke the legs of the first, and of the other who was impaled with him. But when they came to Yeshua and saw that he was already dead, they did not break his legs. But one of the soldiers pierced his side with a spear, and instantly blood and water came out. And he who has seen has witnessed, and his witness is true. And he knows that he is speaking the truth, in order that you might believe. For this took place in order for the scripture to be filled. Not one of his bones shall be broken. And another scripture says, They shall look on him whom they pierced.